Hey, welcome to Tech Tips with Sold Out Media. I'm Amanda, and today I want to tell you about the best microphone that doesn't exist. That's right. We have been testing microphones nonstop for since we started this channel, actually. Different kind of mics that you could use for either field recording, wedding videography. And as I've continued to look for more microphones to test, I found out the mic that I want doesn't exist. Let me tell you about the things I want my dream mic to have. Maybe I'll start with some of the things that I got here on the table. So I got these are the Synco microphones, WMIC T3 series. I got some classic broadcast Sony microphones, some videographer Shure microphones, and these are kind of a different bracket than the guys in the middle. These ones we use more for broadcast television or professional recording with some different variations. The Sonys and the Syncos are more studio microphones, and you could use the Shure set for a studio microphone, but it's not as robust as the studio mics. Studio mics are top of the line, usually. Like we pay close to $1,000 for the Sony microphone set. You usually get one transmitter and two transmitters and one receiver, and they're great. They're on a special frequency up above the 5,000 kilohertz. Now, if you're in Europe, it's different than if you're in North America, because the governments have bought up different frequency bands. Like we used to have the 7,000 hertz band, but now we don't, or kilohertz. So these are great mics, but they still require you to have line of sight. Even though they're so expensive and they are industry standard, we do lose signal sometimes on stages and concerts if the antennas aren't placed properly. And I don't mean these antennas, but we need extra antennas all over the building to be able to pick up the signal on stage. So these are great microphones, but they're so expensive and they still lose signal. Then if you take some of these guys here, like the DJIs and the Joby microphones, the Wavo Air series, these are the 2.4 gigahertz frequency. And we've tested a lot of these. We've tested the Saramonic Blink 500 series. We've tested LensGo. And there are things I liked about these microphones and things I didn't like about all these ones that we've tested. They are all the 2.4 gigahertz frequency range. And that is really terrific because it's a cheaper frequency. It's not as regulated as the broadcast frequency microphones, but it's also easier to lose because it's not as strong. These mics that we've tested in this series, their range goes anywhere from 50 meters to claiming 200 meters, like the Rode Wireless Go. And we've put those to the test. And you can see that some of them do go very far and some of them don't, but they each have some issues. Like for example, if you look at the Rode Wireless Go 2, you're not getting microphones in that kit, whereas in the Saramonic, you're getting lavs. And lavs, depending on which one you buy for your microphone, definitely have an impact on the audio quality, which is what this is all about, right? So in some of them, like the Rode, you spend so much money for it, but it still doesn't have a good lav mic. And the onboard mics are all right, but I don't love them. The only time I've really liked the onboard mics on all of the ones that I've tested is when I've been out in a snowstorm with my boss Joachim doing a Christmas episode. It was windy, it was blowing, and I was able actually to take the transmitter and put it inside his jacket, and the jacket itself was blocking the wind, but the audio was still pretty clean out of it. Now, this category breaks into two different types as well. The type with onboard recording and the type without onboard recording. These Jobys are an excellent microphone, but they don't have onboard recording. So if you do happen to drop that signal with a 2.4 gigahertz frequency, that's it. You don't have any backup. Whereas the Rode and the DJI do have some backup. When we did our original test of many of these 2.4 gigahertz mics, one of our favorite mics was the Blink, the Saramonic Blink 500. It is an excellent microphone. It came with a lav that had great sound quality, and it was just excellent all around. It had a charging case, but it didn't have onboard recording. And I can't even understand why Saramonic hasn't done this. They have other devices that do have onboard recording. They should really make a microphone in the 2.4 gigahertz with the onboard recording. It is an excellent, excellent tool. Now, the Lensgo we've tested, it had SD card that you could put in with onboard recording. The Rode Wireless Go had onboard recording. The DJI mic has onboard recording. They have different variations. The SD cards I thought were awesome because you could pop them right out, put them in the computer and add them to your timeline directly on the Lensgo. But we found the Lensgo's audio was actually, even its record rate was a little bit choppy compared to some of the other microphones we used. It's a little bit less quality. It had less room if I peaked on it, for example, than some of these other microphones. The Rode Wireless Go we didn't like because you have to have the app to use it. And sometimes when you're in a rush and you have your workflow already set up, adding extra apps to your workflow. And I'm talking as somebody who's shooting, every day of the week. We're out doing different productions. My team, they don't like having to go to another app and another app or another software and another software to add to our workflow. We want to drop it into DaVinci or Final Cut and just go with it. We don't want to have to mess with the media somewhere else. And I'll say I feel that way just about some of the action cameras we have too. The ones that require us to have apps drive us nuts. So Rode Wireless Go, it was out the door for me right away because of the lack of charging case available in the package, the lack of lav mics available in the package, and the software was just a pain. DJI is great. You don't need a software. You can just plug it straight in to the computer. It's all in there. So you don't have to do any extra apps. Again, the DJI mic, it's one of the more expensive ones, and it doesn't come with a lav microphone. The onboard mic is all right, but it could use a lav microphone. It does better with an extra external mic. So we bought a Sennheiser lav to go with this, this one's a Sony one. This is not for this, but one of these guys we bought for this system, and it has a great sound. So as far as sound quality goes, I love the DJI. As far as size goes, I love the DJI. I love that it has a charging case. I mean, when you can deliver this, like Hollyland Lark has all of these things in its microphone as well. You can actually have the charging case, the two transmitters, the receiver, the onboard backup recording. So there are systems out there that are great. It's great when they come with the lav microphones. You don't have to wonder which one to buy. We looked for information on which one to buy. So we actually bought this Sony mic for these. We have Sony mics too, so it didn't matter. Realized afterwards that it's a Sennheiser format, so we needed to then get a Sennheiser mic. So I bought two different mics for the DJI mic kit. You don't have to go through that if they send the mic with you included in the price. And some of the best microphones can be pretty expensive. I mean, we pay usually 1,000 Swedish kronor, so at least $100 for a lav mic whenever we have to replace any of the ones we have. So that brings me to my favorite mic. Some of you guys have commented that you really like our audio. And I have to tell you, all of our shows, except for today, because we're recording on a wired lav mic so that I could show you all of our mics. All of our shows, Linus and Jake and I almost exclusively use these two microphones. The downside with these is you don't really have a direct monitoring of these as a camera operator. They have onboard recording. They're small, they're light, and they're super reliable. But they have features in them, not just the onboard recording. The Tascam, and this is the DR10L, it has dual recording. So it has the ability for you to set one channel a couple of decibels lower than the other channel. So if somebody is too loud, you always have a backup lower recording on another track. And it is a fantastic mic. And the lav that they send with it is clean. It's durable. We've had a lot of mics over the years that, you replace them after 6 months because either this part wears out or this part wears out. But we've had this for 2 years and we shoot with it almost every other day and it works great. And when the Zoom F2 came out, this is the BT model, we replaced our F1. And again, we record with these pretty nonstop and it's never failed us. The thing in this one is it has a 32-bit float, which is an incredible option. I don't even have to set the audio level on this. It just records and, you get the best audio quality out of it. The thing I have to say about the Zoom, though, is its body is a little bit more plasticky. So sometimes these have come off. Like, look, this is already loose here. We've had parts break off of it. The same with the F1 version. We've had things where we've had to send it away because it was a little bit more flimsy. But overall, there are minor aesthetic parts of the microphone. It works amazing. It's reliable. And if you have the BT version, you can actually monitor it on your phone, which gives you the best of both worlds. You can still monitor from your recording position and still have your onboard microphone without any, like your subject has all the freedom in the world. They don't have to worry about dropping frequency because there is no transmitter receiver. It is just an onboard recording device. Same with the Tascam. They are phenomenal. So this is what I'm getting to, guys. Somebody out there, one of you manufacturers of these wonderful products needs to make a hybrid between this and this. I'm going to tell you what I want. All right, this is Amanda's dream microphone. This is what this episode is about. I'm going to tell you right now. I want the ability to have the transmitter receivers, right? Because I like the idea of recording a track on my camera as well. I like the idea of being able to always know exactly what's going into the recording and listening and monitoring back at the camera. But I want the onboard recording. But what I want from the onboard recording is I want this DJI mic and this Zoom F2 to kind of have a little microphone baby and become one. Because if this had the 32-bit float in it, this would be the most flawless and perfect microphone. It also needs to be coming with they need to start shipping it with a lav microphone with it. These little guys are great and they often come with the windsocks and everything, but they become quite, visible. We even like to sometimes take the microphones and like tape them to the inside shirt of the subject so it's not even visible at all. These are a little bit more to hide than, say, just this piece here, right, without the clip on it. So the other reason why I like the transmitter receiver option is I can remotely control everything that's happening on this microphone. I can mute it for my subject. I can change the levels on it for my subject. And I don't have to worry about going up and interrupting, say, a wedding ceremony or a live news event. I can make the setting changes right on board. You can do that with the Zoom as well. But if your phone turns off, like I have this connected to my iPhone, and sometimes the phone will lose connection with it. And I have to trust that it's just recording. I can't change the settings anymore in it. Not that there's many settings to change in this because it's kind of a float. The whole point of it is that you're not making a lot of setting changes. But again, to be able to take something like the DJI mic and morph it with the Zoom would be incredible. Saramonic had a great microphone. Like I said, the lav mic was great. The sound quality out of it was terrific. It came with a charging case. It was one of our favorite mics in the last, competition review. But I think that this DJI mic, if it could just have the 32-bit float internal recording, would almost be the ultimate microphone. So, guys, those are my thoughts. What's your dream mic look like? And does anybody work for Zoom or DJI? Because you guys need to get together and, these mics need to become one. I hope this was helpful for you guys. I hope it gave you some insight into my world of audio. And I have to give a big shout out. Again, a lot of you guys have said you really liked our audio. It's always clean, or mostly always clean. a big thanks to our audio editor, Jonathan Cisneros. He is incredible. He goes through all of my tracks. And again, he highly recommends over all of the microphones this Zoom F2 because it is the cleanest audio he's ever had. And that's with the Zoom's own microphone that comes with it. So thank you for watching. Guys, I hope you have a wonderful day. Like and subscribe. And again, let me know if there's anything else you want us to dive into. Have a great day.